Welcome in, everybody. Huge trade just went down. Three-teamer to send Karl-Anthony Towns over to the New York Knicks, who have been needing a center and a legit second option for Jalen Brunson. So the New York Knicks receive Karl-Anthony Towns. The Timberwolves get Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo and a first-round pick from Detroit. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I believe it is lottery protected. And the Hornets get Daquan Jeffries and draft compensation. Okay? Now, looking at it from both sides. One, the Knicks, they lost an all NBA player in Julius Randle, but we all know Julius Randle, when it comes to playoffs, body language isn't quite there. You can tell when he's got bad body language sometimes in the playoffs, right? And he's been battling injury. You lose one of the best three-point shooters in the league from last year and one of the better role players in the league in Dante DiVincenzo. But you get a legitimate second option for Jalen Brunson so he doesn't have to shoulder so much of an offensive load in Karl-Anthony Towns, who is a consistent 20 point per game scorer, which is, what they're going to need. And not only that, he's a stretch big, so you can run either Brunson, McHale, OG, and then Cat and Robinson, or you can do Brunson, McHale, OG, and then run Josh Hart and then Cat, and just really give Brunson spacing to operate in the mid range where he likes to, and you have shooters that he can kick it out to. And again, Bridges, Anunoby, and Anthony Towns. And not only that, I know Cat battled injury last year. He was banged up, but Cat has been pretty healthy throughout his career. And that's been the question mark at center. Mitchell Robinson is a fantastic center, okay? But he is very, very injury prone. And plus, he has some of the most valuable offensive rebounding skills in the league, but he can't stay healthy. And when you have Cat, okay, you lose some of that offensive rebound, some of that presence on the glass, and that defense from Robinson, but you get 20 points per game in one of the better, not one of the best stretch bigs in basketball right now. And like I said, they had questions at center, and I think they solved it with this issue. I think if they don't make another move the rest of the offseason, I like this a lot. Ideally, you would like them to get another like a backup center, because again, Robinson is hurt a lot. Achua was very inefficient last year, but I like this trade. I like this trade a lot from the Knicks. You don't give up a lot. Again, you give up an injury prone. I don't want to say injury prone, but he's been injured the past few years, and he doesn't really perform come playoff time in Julius Randle, and all NBA caliber player. He's made it twice. He's made all NBA twice, and that is a really, really good player. And one of the best role players in the league in DiVincenzo and, Nova Boys and all that. But I think they got good value back in solving their starting center problem. On the other hand, the Timberwolves, you move up a big contract in Karl-Anthony Towns, and you break it into two players, and again, an all NBA forward and one of the best role players in the NBA. I don't understand why they did this trade. You just made a Western Conference Finals with the core you had, and in the offseason, you brought everybody back. Like, I don't like, if you have Gobert sitting in the paint, defending it, and just being basically useless on offense, except for offensive boards. That's why you have Cat, who can sit in the corner and stretch the floor and let Gobert do his thing, let Ant operate and drive to the rim, which is what he likes to do. And Jaden Daniels, when he gets hot from three, but you can't rely on him. And of course, Mike Conley's getting old, but having Cat there, and Cat had a really, really good year. Okay, let me look up Cat's stats. Last year's playoff stats: 19 points per game on 50% true shooting. 50% true shooting in the Dallas series, 51% field goal percentage in the Denver series. So yeah, he was a 20-point per game scorer in the playoffs, and he was efficient with it. And he was a big reason why you were able to make Jokic so uncomfortable. It's because Jokic, nobody can guard him one-on-one. Okay, we saw it with Anthony Davis, we saw it with Bam last year. Okay, and we saw it with Gobert the year before that. Right, you cannot guard Jokic one-on-one. And if you double team him, he is one of the greatest passers of all time. But if you put two absolute trees around him, as in Gobert, you put Gobert on Gordon, you let Gobert roam. If Aaron Gordon beats us with threes, he beats us with threes, and you put Cat on him, there's two massive trees there, and you make Jokic uncomfortable, and you can't let him get the looks that he wants. That's a big reason they won that series. Also, Jamal Murray kind of shit the bed, but that's neither here nor there. But that is a big, big reason why you made such a deep run, is because Cat gives you size and he gives you spacing, with Gobert, who needs to sit in the paint, and Ant, who loves driving to the rim and loves getting into his mid-range bag. And you get rid of that to bring in Julius Randle, who, fantastic player. Julius Randle is not the spacer that Minnesota needs. And what are they going to do? Put DiVincenzo in the starting lineup? Slide McDaniels to the 4 and Ant to the 3? I don't think that's what they're doing. Like, there must have been a problem with Cat in the locker room, with the players, with the front office. Somebody came out and said that Karl-Anthony Towns did not request a trade, and he tweeted he didn't want to be traded. So something must have happened for him to go, because it makes no sense from my point of view, especially with what they got back. Like, the fit, it just doesn't fit right. I think they did this trade for two tradable contracts, okay? Two tradable players and a tradable first round pick, right? I think that has to be what they did it for. They can't be done yet, right? Like, a starting lineup of Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert, that kind of destroys the spacing there. So I don't know who they're gonna get. Okay. I'm not super well versed in all of the NBA trade rules and all that stuff like that, but it is saying that a player can be traded after they were just traded. So, like, I don't know if they're gonna give it a shot, because if this all were if Randall's healthy, you get an all NBA player, and then off the bench you get a flamethrower from 3. So on paper, it's great. It's a fantastic move if it works out, but the spacing scares me a little bit for Ant. It scares me a little bit. So I think they're trying to make a bigger splash. I don't know who they're gonna get. Like, Kawhi kind of makes sense, but I don't think Kawhi. I love Kawhi. Kawhi is my boy. Kawhi is my favorite player of all time. But I don't think you can take a bet on him to have another healthy year. We saw in 2019, if you have a healthy Kawhi, you have a shot at a title. But he just has not stayed healthy for the playoffs, and I literally think Kawhi is the only, like, star player that helps this team that is available for trade. And so, just closing thoughts: the Knicks look very scary next year. They're going to they're going to be a top 2 seed next year. I think they're going to blaze through the regular season. They have shooting, perimeter defenders, a legit top 10 caliber player, a legit number 2 option, and they have some depth. That is good. That is really good. I'm kind of excited to watch them. Honestly, I'm kind of excited to watch them. They have, like, last year, they were one of the most fun watches. I mean, when OG was healthy, they were unfuckwithable, right? Unfuckwithable when OG was healthy. They went on a huge run, and they were one of the best teams in the NBA. And then when he went down, obviously it slowed down, and then they lost the playoffs due to injury. But I don't think the Timberwolves are done yet. If they are, I don't like the trade on paper. Like I said, we haven't seen it yet, right? Like maybe they legitimately wanted this. They want Randall on the floor with Ant to take Ant's offensive load off, because when Randall's healthy, he can put the ball in the bucket. He can put the ball in the bucket. Like he can do that. He's good at that. But I don't think they're done. I think they have one more trade in them. And if they don't, I give it like I give it a B for the Knicks, right? B plus for the Knicks, and I give it like a C for the Timberwolves, right? Because they got a good first round pick. I'm high on the Pistons this year, but if it is top 10 protected, let's be honest, the Pistons are going to be a top 10 draft pick team next year. I like them a lot, but I don't think they're going to jump up with the way everybody else has gotten better. I don't think they're jumping up, and yeah, I give it a B plus for the Knicks, give it a C for the Timberwolves, and I for one am very excited for the NBA season to start. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.